Living in Vegas magazine. We're kind of doing a little bit of different format this morning, so we don't have the graphics that we're able to normally have up, but that's going to be fine. You can go over to our website at livinginvegas.com and you can check out everything that we've got over on Living in Vegas. So we've got articles, videos. You can download the free magazine of Living in Vegas magazine, and also on Fridays, we update Living Weekly magazine. And so you can get the update for Living Weekly magazine all free of charge. We just love to have you in on the show. And I'm stalling here because I'm trying to get the page up here. Oh, I think we'll get to the. Hang on one second, folks. I'm doing crazy stuff here. That's what it is. This is the magic of live radio, or live TV, is that nothing happens, and Sam and Bree probably understand this too, that nothing happens when you think it's supposed to happen. So I'm on the fly right now, but I'm going to make this happen. And if I don't, we'll just abandon it. Let's see if we can get this to happen. I want to make sure that all of our friends who are on our feed here are actually able to see it. Let's say, but we'll be able to do it. It's no big deal. Anyways, I'm going to bring on folks. Sam and Bree Stewart. They are the founders of His Hop Nation. We're going to get to know them a little bit. I'll tell you, if you haven't got to know them yet, you will. And I think you're really going to be very, very pleased about them. His Hop Nation. But we'll let them tell you all about it. Okay, so let's just bring them in. This is Sam and Bree. How you folks doing?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you so much for having us.
We're honored to be on your show, your podcast.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for being here. And I met Sam and Bree just actually about 2 months ago.
Yes.
Over at the Large Vision Networking Business Mixer over at the Santa Fe. And I'll tell you, these two are full of life. That's the cool thing about it. Our table was right next to theirs, but everybody kept, instead of going to our table, they were going to their table.
Oh, wow.
We'll
start sending them We'll send them over.
And the reason why is because of what I think the whole spirit about you, the whole aura, that whole thing. Nice. And we want to get to know you a little bit more. So Sam and Bree, you are part of His Hop Nation. Once again, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about His Hop Nation, okay?
Yeah, well, His Hop Nation is started back in 2015. I'm a gospel hip hop artist. My wife is as well. She goes by the name of Yummy Kingdom. And we were going to go out and do I was at the time. I didn't meet her we weren't together. Right. So I was going to go out to do a concert, and we went to this church. It was actually the wrong church from which we were invited to. But we told the pastor, hey, we're here looking for this particular church, and this is what we do. And then he walked us into this 5,000 square foot warehouse. Yeah. And it just blew our minds. He said, hey, we could use some of your ministry here. And so from there, history was made. We did Christian hip hop concerts every month for just about 7 years, starting in 2012. So that was the start of the His Hop Nation. And the vision is to give them positive, God glorifying music, especially hip hop music, because we know the effects of negative content in some of the music that we hear today.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So you're actually gospel singers.
Gospel rappers. Yes.
Yeah. Gospel rappers.
Yes.
And so let me ask you, how's that been received in overall Christianity? Because I know hip hop's been around for a while.
Yes.
But jazz hip hop, or Christian hip hop, it's still relatively new.
Yes.
And so how's that being received in the Christian community?
Well, for me, it's really good. The people are, for one, music is popular. And so like you said, it's been around for so long. The thing is now, they're noticing that there's a different genre, and that there's a different impact that's not only tearing down the kingdom of darkness, but it's also infiltrating into the worldly system. And this, even though they might at first think that it's the same style or whatever, once they really hear the music, because I believe now that they're listening to the words of the music, and because the words are pushing Jesus Christ, it's changing people's lives. So it's not just like the regular music that people listen to for a beat. They're actually listening to it for the actual words of it. And so that's the bigger difference. And so at first, with anything that's new, a lot of people don't really kind of jump right into, what's new. And then, there's also a lot of perpetrators as well, because they know that because it's a new, move and everything like that, hey, if I couldn't get on the platform and everything in the world, let me try to put some Christian spin on it and say Jesus a couple times so that I could use that to try to get over here. So there's always that as well. And the real ones that do this, we really have to kind of combat that. So it's a struggle sometimes. However, God is faithful. So the more that we continue to press and do, the music for the Lord and being spirit led, all that kind of, it just doesn't even really matter. And so
I know you can always tell. And for those of you who are just joining us right now with Bree and Sam, they're the stewards. They're over at His Hop Nation, and we're talking a little bit about their ministry and what they're doing, which is just, I'll tell you, folks, if you meet these two, you will fall in love with them. They're very infectious. As you can already tell, they're already pretty infectious. Sam, you mentioned how you met Bree, so tell me what it was like. Did you say, oh, she's all right, she's a good singer, or were you thinking, oh my gosh, this could be my life partner here?
Well, what actually attracted me to her, because at being a man of prayer and just into the word and things like that, I wasn't really impressed with how the girl looks per se, or if she's got money or anything. But there was one day where she really humbled herself, like right in front of me, and she shared with me that God was.
Wait a minute! So you can't. Did you just see what?
Yeah.
So Bree said, when you said humble herself, Bree went. What was that, Bree? What was that? Is that tough? Yeah, it's tough. You're a strong woman. I can tell already.
Yeah, well, God is doing a great work. Amen. So He's stripping down that toughness, but it was more of a like type of thing moment or whatever. Not necessarily like it was a struggle, but oh yes, being humble is a struggle. So absolutely.
Okay, all right. Good, Sam. I'm sorry. I just had to see that. Okay.
Yeah. No problem.
Man of prayer, weren't looking, but something.
Yeah, I wanted someone who is serious about a relationship with God, someone who could look in the scriptures and see what a woman of God looks like and actually desires to, live that out. And I felt she had a great connection with the Lord, and I felt like the Lord can get to her and speak to her and work in her. And to me, that was great quality, because I have met a lot of women, even in the church, that are opposite. They think it's a badge to to be strong, like you say, strong-willed or strong-minded, or they want to be in charge all the time. And then when you share scriptures with them, they just they're offended. You know what I mean? And so this right here was an open door, and of course, seeing that, and then the attraction was there, and then I felt that we would make a good team because of what she brings to the table. As you know, she's a great administrator. She's an artist. She has a vision. She's very talented, and I knew that she could help me take this vision even further. And so, the most important thing was, hearing from God, and that was, I believe that God brought us together. So that's kind of what it did for me. And we met at our church. It's a new church. Shout out to Fresh Wind Ministries.
Yes,
we met at our church when I started going there. My brother Lake Davis invited me, and then she became a co-host on my podcast, and that's where it all started.
Isn't that awesome? But let's talk a little bit about the radio ministry, because I've heard you and I've seen you interviewed quite a few people. Tell us a little bit about the radio ministry.
Yeah, His Hop Radio was birthed out of Club His Hop Las Vegas, doing events every month. We wanted uh, our audience to hear the music and get to know the artists before they came to town. We've been able to have big name artists as well as independent artists come and perform at our venue, and so it started as a podcast to get it out to everyone, and then finally we became a BDS reporting station. We report to the billboards. So our effort is to chart Christian hip hop, because once we have a chart and we're on the charts, then people will take you a little more serious. And so it's an app you can download, His Hop Radio, in your app store. We're on iPhone, Android, Windows, and we're trying to give them a platform. We call it CHH. We're trying to give CHH a voice in our community, and we love to support local businesses and our local artists and people here. So send us your music, and we'll definitely get you in rotation.
Oh, that's exciting. So you guys aren't just a podcast. You guys you're actually getting out there even in the regular radio world, so that people can actually say, hey, look, if you're looking for something in Las Vegas, His Hop Nation, His Hop Radio is actually the place to go.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Very exciting. In the time we got left, let's talk a little bit about the kids, okay? Because you've got a ministry that you're working on.
Absolutely.
Why don't you give us a little bit of a kind of an overview of what the ministry is like, and you're working with kids, because you and I have talked a little bit about this.
Yes.
And I hope we can actually work on some stuff together. I'm really prayerful about that. So tell us a little bit about the ministry aspect of what you guys do.
Wow. Well, the ministry is super duper amazing. As you should already know, just dealing with youth, period. There's so many gifts and talents and so many things that you can learn from the youth. Like, we learn from them daily, not just even, with His Hop Nation, but, at our ministry. And so just the youth in general is just an amazing group of people to work with. And we have the opportunity to reach them and to impact their lives beyond, what they could even ever believe, And sometimes they don't even know the greatness that's there, or the potential where they can go. And so we get the opportunity to really, bring that stuff out of them. And we have right now with His Hop Nation our Let's Talk to the Youth project, and that's pretty big, right? And so our goal is to reach these youth and combat the things that that they deal with in their lives on a day-to-day basis, whether it be suicide, gang violence, stress, all those type of things, depression, all that type of stuff, or just not even knowing their value. We deal with all that type of stuff. And so our project is, let's talk to them, first of all, where they are. Let's connect. Let's bridge those gaps, right? From generations to generations, because they think, sometimes we're dinosaur age, but really we've had those experiences and nothing's new under the sun, so we kind of teach them that, show them that by obviously our lifestyles first and foremost, but we also teach them the Word of God, as well as different creative events and projects, workshops, different things like that, where we would really take that time to reach them. We also teach them principles in life that they need to know on the more physical side of things, which is like building credit and how to take care of themselves, or you don't have to dress like that or act like that type of thing. Just even as a woman, like we talked about earlier, that misnomer about how women are supposed to be this man figure or whatever, this dominant role. Let them know it's okay to really be who God called you to be, a lady, knowing your identity and those type of things. And so it's a really, really awesome project. And our kind of target age group is about 12 to like 40ish. We want to like definitely that millennial group, late whatever that last generation is, kind of in that area. We do a lot of stuff for the babies as well, but really our target is like the youth, as in young adults type of a thing. And so that's really where it hits home.
I know. So I'm really excited about this too, because
Yes.
This next generation, especially over the last couple of years, has really been impacted by society.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think we have forgotten as a church that these guys are out there.
Exactly.
So this kind of ministry is just so needed. For those of you just joining us, with Sam and Bree Stewart. They're with His Hop Nation, and they've got this fantastic ministry and radio station and platform that is kind of, it's coming on. Like, I didn't even ask you, how long has this been going on? You've been doing His Hop for?
I've started it back in 2012. So
2012. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Local
And so we're looking forward to the next generation and speaking into the lives of youth and adults, because
And
you're doing
adults, yes.
on the adult level. You're pretty holistic platform here.
Absolutely.
There's so much more. I mean, there's so much more. We could probably spend the rest of the day talking about this. But if people want to get a hold of you, and there are people probably already watching the show, and we'll watch it throughout the day. If they want to get a hold of you, they'd like to be a part of His Hop Nation, His Hop Radio.
Yes.
How would they get a hold of you?
They can go to our website, hishopnation.com. Hishopnation.com on my shirt here.
On your shirt?
Yeah. Also, our social media, Club His Hop Las Vegas on Facebook. On Instagram, His Hop Nation, His Hop Radio, or His Hop Music on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a one-stop shop. If you go to our website, hishopnation.com, we have all our social links. We're streaming our music. Everything we got going, you can go to the website.
Or you can download our app, which is His Hop Radio. And it's a little black and gray app. And that's on iPhone, again, Android, and everything. So just, yes, any way you can reach us. And my name is Bree Stewart on Facebook, so just hit me up, or Yummy Kingdom, and that'll work as well.
Oh, so exciting! I'll tell you, Bree, Sam, thank you, folks, for being a part of Living in Vegas podcast. Once again, folks, His Hop Nation, Bree and Sam, just Google them, folks. It'll come up. It will. With their app.
Can we mention we are a nonprofit as well? We just wanted to mention.
It's a nonprofit. So we're looking for bigger and better things in the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being a part of Living in Vegas podcast. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank
All right.
Bye bye. And folks, we want to thank Bree and Sam. They're just, are they infectious or what? I mean, this is a great couple. I'm looking really forward to seeing them in the future and what they're going to be doing. These are just a great couple. So
doesn't matter if we muted.
There are still more things that we're going to talk about. Let's talk a little bit more about what's going on here in Vegas. And if you were here last night,
that was our interview, y'all.
You know that we had some serious.
Check us out. Las Vegas, was it
crazy.
Las Vegas Magazine?
I was remarking, as a matter of fact, on
Las Vegas Living
on
Weekly.
Facebook.